Hi everybody, our beautiful Golden Anchor quilting community. We are so thankful for those of you who can join us live, and also thankful for those of you who are watching this at a later date. All of those views and support mean so much to us. Remember while you're here to like and subscribe to our channel so that you'll get notifications and know when we're posting new content. It is Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024, and we would love to know where you are watching us from. So go ahead and pop into that chat and let us know where you're viewing this live from. And at the end of the video, we'll tell you why we asked that and have a prize related to that information. We have been working so hard at the shop this week to get the sale ready. We have been moving things to the classroom to create a fabulous clearance area for you to shop through, cutting 6-yard bundles like mad women, and finding all kinds of wonderful deals to offer you. We're going to review the sale details in just a moment, but it has been so much fun to work with the folks who've been coming to help us get ready for our biggest sale of the year. That will be on July 6th, and I will come back to that in just a minute. The other thing we've been working on this week is to find our slogan, our catchphrase, capturing the essence of what Golden Anchor quilting means and what we do, and sort of our shortened mission statement, if you will. And we've come up with a possibility, which is where every thread weaves community together. And we're hoping that we can get some feedback from our live viewers and also from folks who view later about what you think about that slogan / catchphrase, or if something that you feel or know about Golden Anchor inspires you to create a catchphrase for us to consider. We'd love for you to share that too. Last week when we started, we didn't know that there was a delay between when we hit start and another button that we had to start the live stream for real. So we missed sharing one of the most beautiful samples, and we'd like to share that again. And that is from this line of fabric, which is called Foliage and Fur Coats, which features some sweet little woodland creatures, rabbits and deer and squirrels and hedgehogs and fox and owls. And this panel is part of the line. And our sample sewer, Tina Downing, made this for us, which is so darling. And we've had the sample in the shop for 2 weeks now, and we've already sold 2 of the 3 kits we made. So there's only 1 kit left in this line. Still yardage on the bolt, but only 1 kit made up to make this specific quilt. So if you think these little guys are as cute as I do, get down here and pick up that last kit of Foliage and Fur Coats. The other new fabric in the shop this week that we want to share with you is the Quilt Essentials. So this line of batiks is a total of 60 bolts of batiks that we've been bringing in 10 bolts at a time until we have the whole collection. Really vibrant colors, lots of contrast, lots of fun to play with, blenders, and just beautifulness, yum yum. And the thing that we're going to talk about tonight in relationship to batiks is that these are only 6-yard bolts that we get in. So each color, as beautiful it is, we only have the 6 yards. So it's something, if you fall in love with one of these batiks, come and get it as soon as you can before those 6 yards are gone. Oh, and Foliage and Fur Coats. This is that last kit. And it has the pattern, all of the fabrics, the blenders, and the collection fabrics, and it's in a bucket for you to keep your project all together while you work on it. Forgot about that. Okay. We are ready to talk about those sale details. Are we getting some locations, Lynn? Yep, so folks are sharing their location, where they're viewing from. So here's a friendly reminder, if you've joined us since we started, to please tell us where you're viewing from so that you can be involved in the prize drawing at the end of this video. So the sale. We have daily deals today and tomorrow and Friday, and then the big sale happens on Saturday. Today's daily deal is still available, and it is available in person or online. It is on the Riley Blake table topper and bench pillow kits. They are 40% off of their regular price, and if you buy 3 or more, then we give you an extra 10% off. So this is a great time to stock up on these. These will be 30% off on Saturday. So the daily deal today is even better than it will be on Saturday, but these will be here on Saturday as well, unless they're all gone because you all place orders tonight. If you're going to place an order for those online, we couldn't quite get the inventory system to cooperate with us on creating the 10% off extra. So either we'll issue a store credit for that 10%, or you can give the shop phone a call and let us know the 3 you want, and we'll call you to get payment set up, and you can either pick it up in the store or we'll ship it to you. So that's today's daily deal. Tomorrow's and Friday's daily deals will be revealed in the morning of those days, both in a newsletter and a Facebook post, and of course explained to anybody who walks through the door during the day. On Saturday, we're going to have 10% off of notions, 15% off of patterns, and 15% off of pre-cuts from the manufacturer like jelly rolls, charm packs, mini charms, and those kinds of things. 25% off thread, 30% off of kits, and 30% off fabric by the yard, including our minky and wide backs, and 35% off anything red, white, and blue. Panels, buy 2, get 2 free. And fat quarters will be 5 for 15, 10 for 25, or 20 for 40. We're going to have sample quilts for sale at great discounts, a whole bunch of clearance bolts for $6 a yard in the back in the classroom, as well as some flat folds of fabric for $10 a yard. And we have been cutting 6-yard cuts that are great for backing quilts, and because they're all packaged up and beautiful with ribbon, they're ready for you to take home. But we're only making one of each of those out of each fabric that we make a 6-yard cut out of, and those are going to be 6 yards of fabric for $40. So that's a fabulous deal, and definitely worth coming in early so that you can get the best selection out of those 6-yard cuts. We're going to have stuff in the back in the classroom that's going to be up to 75% off. Things we have 1 or 2 left of, little treasures that we found as we've been cleaning up around the shop. And those will be in the classroom on the tables. There are also some one-of-a-kind kits available in the classroom, priced as marked. Those will be separate from the 30% off because they're already priced so beautifully. And we're going to continue to have folks earn tickets for the prize drawing. We went over how to earn tickets in the last video as well as in the newsletter, but it's things like any purchase leading up to the sale, purchase on the sale day. Bringing someone new to the shop earns you lots of extra tickets into that prize drawing. If you and that new person sign up for a class, you both get even more tickets into the prize drawing. So lots of ways to get your name into that fabulous prize drawing that will happen at the end of the sale. I think that's our sale details. So we have a pretty exciting announcement to make. We think it's pretty exciting. There's been lots of rumors and snippets of information traveling around the valley about whether we were going to stay here or move. And we did a lot of thinking about that and a lot of hunting around for the right space. And yesterday we made the big decision to stay here, right here at 367 Washington Street in Suite 6, in the plaza here that we share with Market Basket and Hobby Lobby and Town Fair Tire and GameStop, the neighbors we've come to know and work with. And we have worked with the landlord here and figured out an agreement that works for all of us, and we're excited to sort of put some roots down, settle in, and start really making the shop our own. So you'll start to see some changes around here, little spiff ups, some extra shelving going in, maybe some new display items, because we'll be able to really focus our energy and resources on making the space that we have here exactly what we need it to be. And we're gonna grow right here in Claremont until we're busting at the seams here at 367 Washington Street, and then we'll know it's time to find a bigger home. But for now, you'll be able to find us here. Oh, and because we know that we're going to stay here, you should keep your eyes open for a new sign. We're gonna be jazzing up that sign out front and making sure that everybody who drives by, the marquee way out by the road and the one right on the front of the shop, knows that we are Golden Anchor Quilting and that we're here to stay. I have been reminded by my fabulous team here that I forgot to mention that Donna Davis from Lakeside Sewing 2023, she's on Facebook under that name, is going to be doing some wonderful sewing and embroidery demos here on Saturday as well. So in and amongst all that clearance wonderfulness, she'll have a machine set up and she'll be here to teach you some quick and easy skills and fun projects to play with. We want to remind you that we are the region's, for 50 miles around us, exclusive dealer of Sassy Sunflower half-pack quilts. We have them in the shop. We're working on getting them online, but for now they're in the shop. And in case you haven't been in to find out what Sassy Sunflower is, it's the half-pack quilts program is one that's really designed to help quilt shop owners demonstrate their creativity and their ability to match colors and make bundles. And we pick 5 fabrics from our shop here. They're half-yard cuts, so it's 2.5 yards of fabric total. Those 5 half-yard cuts get into these cute little bundles, and then you get to pick one of 9 quilt patterns or a tote bag pattern to make with your bundle of choice. And the whole bundle, including the pattern, is $37.99, and the quilts come out about 50 by 60, and you can typically back them with 3 to 3.25 yards of fabric, which means you can make an entire quilt for less than $100, which is what we loved about the Sassy Sunflower program. And we have a request of all of you out there, and when you come in, to let us know if there's a line of fabric or a color combination that you'd love to see in those Sassy Sunflower bundles, so that we can use you as more inspiration to keep that program vibrant and creative and changing all the time, so the bundles we have don't get stale. And we're going to do a class with the Tippy Tote at some point this summer. That's the name of the tote bag pattern in the Sassy Sunflower program. And when we do that class, we'll get it posted and we'll announce it here. And folks will be able to come play with those Sassy Sunflowers. The picnic basket pattern from Sassy Sunflower is also what we use for our all-inclusive Learn to Quilt classes. And it's been a fun pattern where we've been able to watch every single quilt come out differently and really be proud of those beginner quilters. So let us know what collections you'd like to see bundles out of, what color combinations, and we will work to get those bundles made up for you. Quick reminder, if you've joined us after we started at 6, to share where you're viewing from so that we can include you in the prize drawing at the end of the video. We also want to remind folks that we are participating in the All New England Shop Hop in September and October, which is a wonderful national program. They do shop hops in all different regions across the country throughout the year. New England is September and October, and it's all of the New England states. I think at this point there's over 100 shops participating. Lots and lots of miles to drive, but lots of beautiful fabric to see and wonderful people to meet in the shop hop. And we are proud to be participating, and we have a link on our Facebook, and I think I sent one out in the newsletter too, And if you can't find those links, you can go to goldenanchorquilting.com and there's a pre-sale option to buy the magazine ahead of time. The magazine has patterns, it has a map of where all the shops are, it has all of the shops' contact information and websites and hours, so that you can create your own shop hop throughout the rest of the year, but also participate in the shop hop with that information. There's a passport in the magazine where you can collect stamps from the shops that you visit and then submit those for fabulous prizes that are donated from all over New England by lots and lots of different shops. So we're participating. We have the magazine for pre-sale. It's $11.95, and if you purchase your magazine through us on pre-sale, you'll also get a coupon that you can use during the shop hop. How fun is that? And we have a question for you. Are you planning to shop hop? And if you are planning to participate in the shop hop, what's the region that you are most interested in visiting? So pop that in the chat if you get a chance. I'm trying to keep in mind the delay between when I say things and when things appear to you, and the chat flow and all of that. So much to learn in all of this technology. So I think I should pause for a moment and check and see if there's been anything in the chat we should check on. Okay, not at this moment. We'll keep rolling then. Okay, so we have classes going on here at Golden Anchor Quilting. We have our open sew ongoing every Tuesday. It's $10 to come open sew if you bring your own machine, or you can add a machine rental for sewing for $15 or an embroidery machine rental for $25. And come play, work on a project that you've been wanting to work on, have some social sewing time. It's just a really nice way to keep the community engaged and making new friends and connecting with old friends. We have our pillowcase club on the first Friday, so that's this week at 10:30. It says club, but you can come to one or come to them all. We make a different pillowcase every month. Our binding party is the second Tuesday of the month at 3 p.m. Some people think binding's kind of a drag, and they get quilts almost all the way done and then don't bind them. So we wanted to make it fun and social. And whether you're machine binding, hand binding, want to learn binding, it's $5. Bring your project that you need to finish up. Come on down and we'll get that bound. Rope bowls, we heard you. Oh my goodness. We posted the rope bowls that those wonderful ladies made in the class last week, and everybody said, when are you going to do it again? So Diana is returning to the classroom on July 10th at 10 a.m. to run another rope bowl class. We have our recurring 12 months of gifts class. Next week, we'll let you know what that project is going to be on YouTube Live on Tuesday. So tune in next week to find out what the project will be for 12 months of gifts. That's a 3 to 4 hour class. You leave with a finished project and the skills to make more. We're hoping that we can prevent that December rush of, I was supposed to make a homemade holiday. And we have our Lone Star starter class, which is going to be taught by Lynn. And that is going to start with a wall hanging size of the Lone Star, build the technique and the skills to be able to take this to other levels where folks have figured out how to make hummingbirds and eagles and broken stars and all kinds of wonderful things, or just make the basic Lone Star bigger. So it'll be a skill builder class. You'll leave with this wall hanging, and that is on Thursday, July 25th. We need to do our weekly prize drawing for a $10 gift card for folks who've come in over the course of the last week and paid with cash or check, saving us those credit and debit fees. And folks put their name and phone number on a little ticket when they come in, and then we draw a name, and that person gets a $10 gift card to come in, and it is Karen Girardi. So Karen, if you're watching, congratulations. If you're not watching, we'll give you a call. If you know Karen, let her know that she's just won a $10 gift card. We'll empty out the basket, start again for next week, and draw the $10 gift card next week as well. And last week, I talked so much and got so excited that I ran out of time in that half an hour for a tutorial. This week, we're gonna do it. So this week, we are making, I'm trying to clear my little sewing surface here. We are making these little catch-all bowls. These are made with 5-inch squares, and you can see they're tiny and cute. You could keep it next to your sewing machine, and pins or clips could be caught in there. You could keep it on your desk at work to remind you how much you love beautiful fabric. You could give these as gifts to people to help organize their drawers. Just kind of a fun, quick and easy, versatile project. Depending on the way you sew those final corner seams, you end up with either a straight basket like that, or one where the corners kind of kick out inside. And we'll talk about that when we get to that step. We could probably go to the overhead camera for a minute and show here. That's 3. 3 is the overhead. Okay, perfect. So we are going to make these starting with a charm pack. This charm pack is from Moda. It's called Love Letters. We do have some of this beautiful fabric coming later this year. We ordered it, and our wonderful Moda rep gave us this charm pack to play with. So here we are playing with it. And what you're going to need to make each bowl is a 5-inch square of scrap batting. You can also use fusible fleece if you want it to really stick to the lining of the bowl, and 2 charm squares, or whatever square size you're using. So if your batting's 5 inches, you're going to use 5-inch squares. If your batting is 10 inches, you'll use 10-inch squares. You're going to lay 1 right side up on the batting and 1 right side down on the batting, and then stitch around the outside, leaving an opening for turning. And I typically do that with a 1/4-inch foot on my machine. So I'll put that 1/4-inch foot on the machine. And you want to start a little bit before the corner and back stitch a little bit, and then go about a 1/4-inch from the corner. I like to put 1 back stitch before I turn. Oh, I didn't go far enough. 2 more little stitches, and then turn, go down the outside. How's our chat going while I sew here for a minute? Any questions we can answer? All looking good there. Are people sharing where they're watching from? We getting some locations? What's it looking like so far as who's farthest away? We have 17 viewers. Thank you all for being here. I keep not going close enough to the corner. So the way I know that I haven't gone close enough to the corner is that when I rotate, the edge of this is beyond my 1/4-inch blade. So then I can go back, do a couple more stitches, and then go around that corner. And then down the next side, but not all the way down that 4th side, because we want to leave an opening for turning. So I think so far we have Lindsay in Maine is our farthest away. No? Oh, Dee in Virginia. And then Lindsay in Maine. So we're going to clip the corners. I think we could probably go back to the overhead for this. Yep. So we're going to clip the corners so that they turn more crisply, being careful not to clip the seams that we just made. And then a turning tool, the pointy end of a turning tool helps you poke the corners out, and the smooth end or rounded end of a turning tool helps you to run along the seams of the straight parts to get those to turn well. So you're going to turn that right side out. And then use that turning tool to poke here. Oh, we've got to look at the board. I'm ready. Move forward. Okay, sorry. Thank you. We're going to have to learn sign language, I think. Or people could talk even more forward. Mon back, right? So the pointy end of that turning tool is helping me to turn those corners and get those nice little crisp bits right there. And then I can take that smooth side and run it along the outside seams to help those crisp up a little bit. And then we're going to tuck in a 1/4 inch in that opening, lay it flat, and then you press it so that that is ready to be top stitched. And I top stitched these at 1/8 of an inch, which if you have a stay right there for a sec. If you have a 1/4 inch foot like this that has the blade and these 2 bars, your 1/8 of an inch is going to be right here at the outside. So your 1/4 inch foot actually has multi-purposes. The other thing that's helpful on the 1/4 inch foot is the little marking or tick in the metal right here. And that little tick in the metal tells you that you're about a 1/4 of an inch from the needle. So that's what I typically try to use to gauge how far away I am from an edge when I'm trying to turn a seam as I go around corners. And you're going to use the top stitching to seal that opening as well. So you want to do a little bit of back stitching when you start. And if you want to make the top stitching decorative, you could change to a higher weight thread, or a lower weight thread, I guess would be. If you're stitching with a 40 weight, or like I like to stitch with Invisifil, which is a 100 weight thread, that 100 weight thread is really not going to show in your top stitching. It's actually designed to blend. But you could change to something more like a 30 weight, or even a 12 weight, which is the thickest thread you can put through a domestic machine. And then you'd get some emphasis on that top stitching. It would really show as almost a feature rather than just being functional. Something to consider. And I like tools that are multi-purpose, so you'll see I've got the turning tool here with me, and I'm keeping it here in case my machine has trouble getting over the hump of one of those corners. Like, see how I just got stuck in one place? I can come down and then use this turning tool to kind of get under the presser foot a little without risking my fingers under the needle, and get that to advance past the corner. And then get all the way around with that top stitching at the 1/8 of an inch. We're on our last corner here, almost done and ready to go to the next step. Whoops, stuck again. So I'll use that tip to just get past. Do a little back stitching when I get all the way around. Cut my thread. And then you've got a top, this could be a coaster. You could stop right here and have a coaster. And I need the forward camera again to talk about this. Or are we here or up here? Okay, I'm still learning. So you could stop here and have a coaster, or you have 2 options for your corners. To do those corners, those little pokey outy fun decorative corners, you're going to decide which one you want to be the outer and which one you want to be the inner of the basket. I think since I put the flowers on the inside of this one, I'll put the flowers on the outside of this one. So we're going to fold like that. And if you want your corners to go straight down your basket, you're going to stitch this next seam perpendicular to that open side. So I would put my regular foot, my J foot, clear view, zigzag foot, whatever you call it, back on the machine. And if you want straight sides, you're going to sew maybe 1 inch from the tip of the diagonal corner and go perpendicular to that open edge so that your seam goes from here down to here. If you want your corners more like this to kind of poke out from the bottom of the bowl, then you would fold here and keep the folded side straight and stitch perpendicular to that. So it just depends on which way you want your corners to work at the end of your bowl. And you can do a shorter distance here for a bowl that's wider at the base, or a wider distance here if you want a sort of narrower but deeper bowl. You can make these with 6-inch squares, 10-inch squares, you know, whatever size you want, to create little catch-alls that will help you to keep things from just being scattered across whatever surface you're trying to organize. So that's the little project for tonight. And I've been given the 2-minute warning that we're headed towards our 30-minute time limit. I have a note there to talk about the new logo, which is confusing me because we're trying to work on getting our logo spiffed up, but we don't have it yet. So right now we have the turtle with the anchor, and we're working on getting it on some business cards, but I don't have the new logo yet. I'll have to get some. All right, we'll work on that. We'll get more information for next. Tune in next week to find out what we mean about new logo. All right, so next week's tutorial will be a fun way to make something look like a square in a square without having to cut all of the extra pieces. There's a secret to that. This was made with 2 fat quarters, and fun and easy. So next week we'll show you how to do that, and then hopefully, time permitting, we'll show you how to transfer that little cheat method into some 4-patch magic that makes it look like you did even more complicated stitching. This is going to be a placemat at some point. So that's next week's tutorial. And next week we are going to reveal our first Christmas kit of the year. Crazy talk that we're talking about Christmas in July, but we're going to talk about Christmas in July. We'll show you our first Christmas quilt kit next week. Do we have any questions that we should address? No? Okay. Not anything in the chat yet. So if you have any questions, pop them in there. If we miss you while we're live, we'll try to get back to them later. We would like to remind you that a free, absolutely free, very low time way to support your local quilt shop is to share this video with other people who you think might enjoy what we have to talk about, or who might like an introduction to Golden Anchor Quilting and what we're all about. And we told you at the beginning that if you shared where you were viewing from, at the end there would be a treat for the person who's viewing from somewhere. And what we didn't tell you is that that's going to be about who's from the farthest away. So do we have anyone farther than Virginia? Or is Dee and Virginia the farthest away? So this week, the person who's viewing from the farthest away, which is Dee, is going to get these little bowls that I've made getting ready for the tutorial mailed out to her as a treat from us here at Golden Anchor Quilting. Next week, we will use a different method to pick the person who gets to keep the tutorial. But this week we chose who is watching from the farthest away. So Dee, I will get these finished up. There's just a couple more steps in those last 3 bowls, and you'll get 5 little bowls shipped out to you as some happy mail from Golden Anchor Quilting. We thank you for watching, for being with us, whether you watched live or are watching this at a later time. Your support means the world to us. We are so blessed to be building this incredible community, and we appreciate every step that you take with us on this journey. We're playing with that catchphrase of, wait, let me get back to my notes, where every thread weaves community together. We look forward to your feedback on that, your inspiration, your ideas, and we cannot wait to see you in the shop or on YouTube. And it looks like Dee is actually Diane. So Diane, I will address that envelope to you lest we send it to the wrong person. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you next week. Did we end? Okay.
You had like a minute and a half lag.